Welcome back, guys. So this is the final raid in the Leviathan, which is Callus. The way this raid works is it requires a bit of communication in some sort of way. So hopefully this will help you guys out on the PC version attempting to do this raid in about an hour or so. It's going to release soon, and I'll be running a couple of groups through it myself with multiple characters. So in order to start this raid, you have to shoot the cup inside the... So in order to start the raid, you want to shoot the cup that the Emperor is holding in his hands. Once you start the raid, mobs will flood out through the doors around the room, and you want to split your raid up to fight these mobs. Previously, I remember the elite mob in this map was really hard, but they toned it down a little bit, so it's much easier. Anyways, you'll be fighting mobs, and eventually what's going to happen is Callus is going to drag you into a shadow world. Now, what you want to plan out with the group is who stays in the shadow world and who goes out. So what you want to do is take 3 players and have them assigned to an orb that will get them outside of the world. So you want to also set up who gets the left orb, the middle orb, and the right orb so that people don't overlap and it gets suctioned into his mouth. That's right. If you jumped over the barrier and you don't grab the right orb, or 2 people go for 1 orb, it can cause a bit of a problem. So you want to set who grabs what orbs before going in. Now here's where the fun begins. So the people inside the shadow world is blocked off by a wind barrier underneath their feet. You don't want to jump over it or you will get suctioned into his giant face and die. Now your goal inside the shadow world is to call shapes that appear on his forehead. As the shape are being revealed to each player, you want to make sure you strategize who calls which shape first. You can go from left to right or right to left. However you set it up is up to you. So you want one player going at a time calling out the symbol on top of his head, and then the people outside of the shadow world will melee a scion on top of a pillar, which the shape wasn't called. The shapes are going to be the shape of all the symbols you've seen throughout the entire dungeon. So the sun, axes, beast, and chalice. And whatever shape is not called is the one you want to melee. If you melee the wrong one, the people in the shadow world dies. If you don't melee it on time, the people in the shadow world dies. And that's what's going to happen. So you have to melee the right shape. So a bit of communication is really important here. And also the people on the outside world want to split themselves left and right so that they can take care of meleeing whichever one that's needed. Also be wary, people in the shadow world, the mobs that appear, one is going to be the scion that floats in the air. You have to shoot that one or everybody dies if it lives, and the other ones are these ground mobs that appear that you have to watch out for. If you don't shoot them, they'll throw this grenade that goes across the ground, hits you, and then sends you flying over the wind barrier, which kills you. So you have to be very precise on your shots inside the shadow world, while people on the outside are trying to survive at the same time and meleeing the corresponding symbol. Now once you come to a certain point, what's going to happen is everybody in the outside world will stack up and shoot at the boss to actually save the people in the shadow world, while the shadow world people will encounter the giant head. And what's going to happen is the giant head's going to shoot all these skulls at them, and the goal is to kill as many skulls as you can. So you want to get a buff in order to actually do damage to the boss. So the skulls are buffs and you have to do damage to them, while the people outside are shooting at the boss, and you kind of have to time it correctly to get them out on time before Callus reaches a certain point where he's so bright it kills everybody. So the point is to shoot at him, lower his health a bit, and then eventually finish him off once the communication inside reaches a certain amount of buff. You want to try to hit at least a 70 mark. If you can hit more, go for it. But if you can't, then don't get greedy, because greed will lead to the death of the entire raid. Once the people from the shadow world comes out, what's going to happen is everyone will get ready and count until they jump on top of platforms to do damage to the boss. The platform becomes a place of power. So you do not want people flying over platforms ahead of time, because that's going to initiate or actually engage the buff that's needed to do damage to the boss. You have to be extra careful and warn your group members, do not go flying over platforms. And then once you all gather on the platforms, put down your buff, whatever you need to, and start doing damage to the boss. Once the boss raises his hands or do any type of motion as such, you need to get off the platform. He AoEs the groups. Whichever platform you start off with, it's up to you. Eventually, what's going to happen is you start damaging him, he starts losing pieces of his body, and eventually he'll die. When he's about to die, he's going to raise his hand in the air. He's going to be really bright. You need to shoot at him and do damage to him or everybody dies. Just keep that in mind. Anyways, here's the fight with Callus. Enjoy.
Yeah, give me that heavy.
Oh, hell yeah. Come here. Come here. Wow. Take that.
Alright. Do you guys see that Cabal just floating in midair?
Yeah. Axes.
Oh, beast, beast.
Chalice.
Got it.
What the fuck? Something
Oh,
just
that
blew
was
my
light
face up.
anyway. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Chalice.
There.
I got him.
Axe.
Done.
Got it.
Oh, we gotta watch these explode.
Beast.
What else? Axe, beast, what else?
Chalice.
Got it.
And here's the second one.
Chalice.
Axe, axe, axe.
Done. Oh no! No! Oh, I made it. Oh, wow. Don't worry about
Yeah, it wouldn't matter anyway. We just need you for the damage counter.
it. Woo! Oh,
Right side,
Oh,
right side,
shit.
right side.
I forgot about him.
Oh,
Alright, we're good.
lucky. I got
We threw it way back there.
When do we shoot a shield down?
We'll tell you when to
Until we
burn it.
get
Just get it
boss.
low for now.
I shoot way more skulls back here. I'm sorry. You might
Okay.
like it up there, but I shoot way more. Probably get it now. Yeah, look, 68. Fuck yeah. And we're not even done.
Alright, burn it.
Alright.
Alright, I'm on.
Y'all ready? Alright, we're on.
Yo, hey.
Jump.
Oof, oof.
Man, good damage, guys.
Oh yeah.
Oof, oof,
Jump.
oof,
Down.
oof, oof.
Alright, popping ult. Oh no! Don't jump off there.
Save for the animation though.
Just now. Man.
Wait for the cannon.
Alright, what? Wait, don't jump on the next one yet. Alright, jump.
Jump, 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 jump.
No. Alright, your weapon should reload automatically.
Ooh.
Fucking got him down to halfway. Fuck yeah, we need one more round.
Alright,
Damn,
jump.
get off.
Jump, jump, jump.
Alright, ammo.
Ammo Dude, I'm hurting for ammo.
I need some heavy. Oh, it's a Centurion again. What do you know? There's that.
It was too hard for people, so they changed it. It makes sense.
It wasn't that hard.
Why are my
I mean, it wasn't
elements
that
question
bad.
mark?
We were able to do
Once we
it.
figured out it wasn't bad. Oh no! Don't come after me, Centurion. Leave me alone!
Apparently, it was hard enough that they do have to change it.
Oh,
But right, you got to think about the mass, man. The mass majority, not us.
Like, we're so much better.
Hey,
Alright.
hey, good enough.
Alright, this is the last run.
Watch out for those.
Done.
Beast.
Chalice.
Got it.
East.
Sun.
Axes.
East.
Axes.
Chalice. Can't name the one on the right, by the way.
I killed him. I killed him. I killed him. I killed him.
Got him. Yeah.
I'm gonna get cryptic up. I can't.
I got it.
Sun.
Beast.
Chalice.
Alright, you guys are good. Stay alive. Awesome. Stay over here.
Is your voice alright?
Yeah, I'm just whispering because I don't want to wake up family.
Alright. I got you.
Wait for him. Shit. Alright. Souls.
Right side needs help.
That was a bit too early.
So meet up with me. Meet up. Come to the center.
My bad.
I have a rift up.
Okay. Philly Centurions. Cool.
Don't shoot it down yet. Hold on.
Yeah, don't. Get it closer now. 64. Yeah, we got it this round, guys. Fuck yeah.
Alright.
Don't change. Don't step on the pillars.
Yep.
Alright, jump on.
You gotta
Oh,
shoot
yeah,
the center.
89, we got this.
89 points. Move.
Off.
Damn,
Just
2
rolling
runs.
right now.
Not bad at all. Fuck yeah. Holy shit.
Off.
Move.
Off. Alright, last part. Burn him.
Oh man, easy burn. Easy
So
burn.
easy.
Holy shit. Hell yeah. And we just gave our clan the fucking legendary engram. So for us 3, we can grab that shit.
Yeah. Boy. I got
Almost.